Hi guys, this is a quick tactics for twin consorts. Basically this is a 3-phase fight. You initially start on Lulen. You basically DPS Lulen down for 3 minutes, does various abilities which we'll talk about in a second. Once you DPS Lulen down for 3 minutes, you have a phase change, at which point then Suen becomes active. You DPS Suen down for 3 minutes. You then start phase 3, whereby both bosses are active. You just carry on focusing down Suen, burn Suen down as quick as possible, and then once Suen is down, you then literally just finish off Lulen, and that's the fight. So phase 1, there's nothing too drastic to worry about. Ranged and healers just need to stay spread 8 yards. There's an AoE ability which, if you're stacked up too close, it'll do more damage. But other than that, nothing major in this phase. You can see these green clouds floating around on the floor. Just don't get hit by those. If you get hit by one of those, it just stuns you. The stun is dispellable, so again, nothing too drastic to worry about, but it is avoidable damage, so there's no need to take it. What you'll also notice in phase 1 now, you'll see in the middle of the room, is a beast will spawn, which one of the tanks will be able to target and kill. Just be careful with healing the tank that's DPSing the beast. Any direct heals that tank takes from you will put a stacking buff on the healer, which does increase damage over time. I find that atonement healing works really well for this. It doesn't put any debuffs on me, but it keeps the tank topped up perfectly well. So as I see, there's nothing really major to heal. Some AoE stuff which needs to be topped up, but apart from that, yeah, we just burn down the boss, avoiding the green patches on the floor, and we just keep that up. So we'll just watch this going on for a short while. You'll see around the corners of the room as well, there's various different pillars that you can interact with by right clicking. They do different buffs to the raid. One does, I think, health regen, one does extra stamina, one slows down the cast speed, and one does a damage buff to the boss. So typically when we were training this fight, we would kill Lulen just on normal, just DPS. What then happens is, as soon as Suen becomes active, we would send one player into the crane, which is the one at the back right corner of the screen. You can just see at the back left now on my screen as you enter the room. It's the one on the back right. We'd send one player in there to activate that. As soon as that player then comes out, we'd pop Hero. The crane basically does damage to the boss. So yeah, we would get that active, and then as soon as that player's out, pop Hero and just burn down Suen as quick as possible. So you can see we're going to have a phase change fairly soon. It's important that we make sure we don't kill Lulen in the first phase. Although we did pop heroism in this, I wouldn't advise doing that really. I would just steady DPS on Lulen. The important is to get Suen down in the second phase. So you'll see we're about to switch now. She's fairly low, Lulen, so we won't have to do much DPS at all in the last phase on her to finish her off. So now you see Suen is now becoming active. Everyone switches to Suen. Again, this is typically where, as I say, you would have sent someone in to release the cranes, and as soon as that player's out, you pop Hero, pop cooldowns, and just burn Suen down as quick as possible. There's nothing major to worry about in this fight. There is a buff that stacks up on the tanks, which tanks will need to taunt off each other. I'm not really sure how many stacks tanks would normally take on this, so you just need to play it by ear and see how it goes. The main thing to focus on this phase is that one of the raid members will get targeted by a comet, which will land, knock the player back. As soon as the comet lands, the tank just needs to drag the boss over to the comet to make the stacking buffs that are on the boss gradually drop off. It's important that happens, otherwise if they get too high, the boss just does insane fire damage, and then any fire ability will just be doing mental damage. Obviously stay out the fire tracks on the floor there. So yeah, nothing too drastic to this phase. As I say, just avoid the fire, kite the boss to the comets when they land. The key to this phase is, as I said, burning down Suen as quickly as possible. So we'll just go through tactics for the third phase while we're killing this now. Third phase, basically both bosses become active. The raid just focuses on Suen again, so just everyone will be targeting Suen already. As soon as the third phase comes, you just need to burn down Suen as quickly as possible. You'll see in our kill we don't really have much time. We get Suen down really low before phase 3, and then we just literally wipe them both up real quick. The main things to worry about in phase 3 is an ability called Tidal Force, which does a massive amount of raid-wide damage. A good one to use on that Tidal Force is the slowing down of time, because the Tidal Force is cast very, very quickly from Suen, and as I said, does quite a lot of raid-wide damage. So that's why it's important to get Suen down quickly, so that in phase 3 she's not up for that long, and therefore you don't get any, or not many, Tidal Forces. I think we managed to get her down so quick that we don't even get one, but when you train the fight you certainly will get a Tidal Force. So that's the time for healers to use Spirit Shell, personals, health stones and stuff like that. Get ready to use those, because that does hurt a lot, and while you are training it you'll probably get maybe 2 or 3 of those Tidal Forces. So as you can see, we're going to have another phase transition any second now, which will take us into the 3rd phase where both bosses will be active. Again, the Comet will keep coming, and this Tidal Force, so just be aware of all of those mechanics going on. Just burn down Suen as quick as you possibly can. You'll see now with phase change. So both bosses now active. As I said, we just basically finish Suen really, really quick, and as soon as Suen is dead, back onto Lulin, finish Lulin off, and then that is the kill.